Our next guest has over 1 million followers on her social channels and has helped thousands of people eat more plants. Her debut cookbook, Plant You, is filled with vegan and vegetarian recipes that even a carnivore will love. Joining us this morning with delicious recipe ideas, welcome back the beautiful Carleigh Bodrug. Good morning.
Good morning. I am so happy to be back, Dina, and so excited to share about my new cookbook, Plant You.
I adore you, and I love everything that this represents, and congratulations. Plant You is #1 in the U.S. and Canada on Amazon in terms of vegan cookbooks, and it's the top 33 overall, so that's massive, and it shows there's an appetite for plant-based food. So how did this all come to be for you? I understand it came from watching a documentary.
For sure. So I actually went plant-based in 2015 after the WHO announced that red and processed meat could be associated with certain cancers.
Yep.
And from there, I transitioned to a plant-based lifestyle, but growing up in Ontario, Canada, I really grew up on a meat and potatoes diet. So when I started looking at the plant-based meals on Pinterest, I felt really uninspired by like the Nourish bowls with things like carved avocados and spiralized zucchini. And from there, started veganizing the food I had grown up eating. And this is really the cookbook that I wish I had when I made that transition to a plant-based lifestyle around 7 years ago.
And I know you watched Forks Over Knives. People should definitely check that documentary out because it's a very, it's a rude awakening for many when they watch it. Be prepared. But you have amazing dishes, and people worry about protein sources. So you have tips on that too, right? They say, how do I get my protein?
100%. So there are so many incredible plant-based protein sources. I have my kale salad right here, actually, which is actually made with a creamy tofu dressing. Soy and tofu is such an incredible complete protein that you can blend up to make a creamy, I call this my creamy ranch dressing.
Yum.
Pour it over your kale with some roasted chickpeas. And per serving of this salad, you get 16 grams of protein.
Wow.
And above and beyond the protein talk, one of the most important parts of this conversation we miss is that over 95% of people in North America don't get the daily recommended intake of fiber. And where does fiber come from? It's plants. Mm-hmm. Fiber is just so incredibly important for our digestion. So I always tell people, count plants, not protein, and I promise you, you're not going to have any issues.
And Carleigh, that's the thing. It's satiating. It's flavorful. People think it means bland, which it doesn't. Even if you can incorporate once a week, twice a week, these plant-based meals, you're doing yourself a favor and the planet. There was a study that just came out 2 days ago that said you can extend your life by as much as 8 to 12 years if you include more plant-based diets. So, I mean, it bodes well for all of us.
I always say it's a win-win-win on every level. It's incredible for our health, it's incredible for the planet, and it's incredible for the animals. And that doesn't mean you have to go vegan. Just including a few meatless meals in your diet per week can have an incredible impact on all three of those.
Tell us some more. You say oils. How do we choose between the healthier oils?
For sure. So my cookbook is actually entirely oil-free. A lot of people in the plant-based community do reduce their oil consumption, especially if you have something like type 2 diabetes, because immediately it is just such an incredibly easy way to reduce your fat and caloric intake, with a tablespoon of oil being actually 120 calories. So all of the recipes in this book are oil-free, and what I actually suggest is that any soup recipe, any stew recipe you find online typically starts with a glove of oil in a pot, right? I actually use vegetable broth in place in water, and I promise you, taking away that oil is going to make no difference in the finished product of your dish. And if you're looking for inspiration, I actually have a homemade, beautiful, I call it my magical mineral broth in my cookbook. We make this every few months and then freeze bottles of it. And we can also freeze it in an ice cube tray. And then you just place them in your pan every time you're cooking something like a stir fry, and you're going to cut out that oil entirely. If I am using oil in a recipe, I really love extra virgin olive oil, both from a taste and a health perspective.
Carleigh, things are opening up. I cannot wait to meet you in the flesh because, you know, I'm a huge fan of yours and taste your beautiful food. And whenever you get to visit us here in studio someday, I'm sure it'll be soon. For more information, everybody, head to her TikTok @PlantYou, as well as Instagram or plantyou.com, and pick up her book, Plant You. Thank you so much. Great to see you. #1, baby. #1.